Rahim. We are on Surah Al-Fatihah. So Surah Al-Fatihah can be divided either into two halves actually. So we finished the one half. So one half of Surah Al-Fatihah is going to be the... Oh, you're on different screen. That's happening here. Where's this mirror thing? Okay, do things first, but it's fine. So the first half of Surah Al-Fatihah is going to be the part about Allah, focused upon Allah solely. In other words, we are not mentioned in the first part. The slaves are not directly mentioned, indirectly, but not directly mentioned. Okay. So let's go first. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So the first one is about Allah. Bismillah, in the name of Allah, ar-Rahman, the one that is all merciful. His mercy and His Rahmah and His love and His kindness envelops everything. Ar-Rahim, the one that is eternally and everlastingly, His mercy, love, Rahmah, tenderness will envelop especially the believers. Alhamdu, all praise. So the Bismillah is almost like the introduction, and the content sort of starts with Alhamdu. Alhamdu, all praise, Lillahi, is to Allah, Rabbil Alameen, the Master, the Lord of Al-Alameen, of all of the worlds. And we spoke about that's also a quality of Jalal, a quality of might, authority, strength, the Lord of all of the worlds. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ar-Rahman, the one that is all merciful, Ar-Rahim, the one that is forever, his Rahmah will last. And we spoke about Rahmah and the womb and the mother's love and all of those extra meanings to Rahmah. And those Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim are qualities of Jalal, of softness, of tenderness, of love. And then Maliki Yawmiddin, Malik, the master, the owner of Yawmiddin, of the day of judgment. So were we in that first 4 verses, are we speaking about Allah in the first, second or third person? We can't speak about Him in the first person, but in the second or the third person. Are we speaking about Allah as you Allah or He Allah? We're referring to Allah as He. Third person. Third person. Next day, inshallah, we discuss qualities of third person and second person, but for now, it's speaking about Allah in the third person. So we're not saying Alhamdu laka Rabbil Alameen, all praise belongs to you Allah, Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. We're not saying it's Lillahi, it's about Allah in the third person. Then in the next ayah we move to Iyyaka na'budu wa Iyyaka nasta'in. And we discussed, this last week so you can see, there's a difference between I'm thinking quite slow, but na'buduka and Iyyaka na'budu. What's na'buduka mean? Na'buduka means what? We worship you. And Iyyaka na'budu means what? You. So you look up that you alone. Hey, look it up. Do you look it up? Your homework was to look it up, remember? I said Surah Al-Fatihah. You must look it up. So I'll do it for you because you don't do your own homework. So I'll do your homework for you. So I'm looking it up now for you. So let's see here. So it is. So Pictol says thee, and in brackets alone we worship. Sahih International says it is you who we worship. Yusuf Ali says thee do we worship. Mufti Taqi Usmani says you alone do we worship. But the Mustafa Khattab and all those people are, he says here you alone, in quotation marks, we worship. Maududi says you alone do we worship. Anyway, so some of them are saying you alone do we worship, and some of them saying you we worship. But the alone part comes from where? It comes from the bringing forward of the iyaka. So last week we ended with this idea of iltifat. So let's just write this down. In the Quran, it's quite unique to the Quran. This idea of iltifat. So it's on iltifat. So what does iltifat mean linguistically? Anybody know? Iltafata yaltafitu. Yeah, this morning.
Change from the second person to the third person.
Okay, good. So iltifat linguistically means to turn. Iltifat. There's hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, when they discuss the Prophet ﷺ, they describe him. They say وَإِذَا الْتَفَتَ, when he made iltifat sallallahu alayhi wasallam, iltafata ma'an, he turned ma'a with his whole body. Another riwayat jami'an. So when he turned sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he turned his whole body. His iltifat wasn't like this, assalamu alaikum. His iltifat was what? Assalamu alaikum. You understand? If you greet someone, his iltifat, his turning of his body was complete. Okay, so now some of the word iltifat means linguistically just means to turn. When you move direct. So I'm like iltifat now. Like this iltifat, I'm facing here, I'm facing here, that's called iltifat. Right? That's in terms of linguistically. But in terms of grammatically, when I'm speaking about the Quran, iltifat means when you move from one speaker or one person to another. Okay. Yeah, we'll discuss now. So basically, you have different persons, but let's go through quickly. The third person is the absent. They're not present in the conversation. Like he said, she said, we're speaking about a third person. So it's going to be a he, she, they. And then second person is going to be you. 1, 2, 3, whatever the case is. And third person is going to be I or we. The first person is going to be I or we. So when we started the Quran, we started the Surah Fatihah, which person do we start with? Do we speak of Allah as you or as He? He. All praise belongs to Allah, Him. Master of the world, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Him, Allah. Then we said Iyaka, what does Iyaka mean again? You. So this was the beginning here, and where do we move to? We move the text, we move the address to you. Because the He version of Iyaka is Iyahu. Iyahu means him. That's the same as huwa. You with me? But Iyaka is the same as what? The same as Anta. You with me? So we move from the third person to the second person. The third person. So now that Allah introduced Himself, then Allah Himself forced us to address Him. Because we must read the Quran like Allah said. So Allah actually almost like imposed on us that now you will turn to me. Like I've introduced myself to you. I am what? I am your owner. I am what? I love you, I take care of you, I provide everything for you. I am what? I am the master of the day when you will be accountable. That's who I am. So what are you going to do now? You're going to turn to me. I'm not going to tell you about me anymore. You're going to turn to me, and I'm going to tell you how to turn to me. So in Surah Al-Fatihah is Iyaka. We're actually turning the address. So I want you to think of two things with Iyaka. The one thing is that the Iyaka, the maf'ul has been moved to the front to make it exclusive. You and you alone. The second thing, there's been iltifat. There's been change from the third person to the second person. So there's a lot going on there with Iyaka. There's a lot going on there. It's like a powerful change in the surah, because now you say Iyaka, and like literally means you, Allah, and by extension you alone. Na'budu, We worship, but also more than worship is what? We enslave ourselves. And the worship is actually like a symbol of our enslavement. Iyaka, to you Allah, we are slaves, we worship you. Iyaka na'budu. Is that a dua or a statement? Is it something that's being asked or something being said? Like for example, I say, is the man tall? It's a question. The man is tall? Statement. So what are we saying here? It's a statement. And what is the content of the statement? What's the establishing? It's establishing a relationship. Now dua is when you ask something. So Iyaka na'budu, you're not asking anything. When you say Iyaka na'budu, you're not asking Allah, you're just saying Iyaka, you alone Allah, na'budu, we worship. So what is the statement saying? The statement is establishing the relationship between Rabb and Abd. You with me? Like now we've come to know Allah in the first beginning of Fatihah. Now we come to say what's our position with regard to Allah. You understand what's happening now? We're not asked later on, we're going to make dua now. But we didn't ask it. We first acknowledge that Iyaka, you and you alone Allah, are we slaves for. Do we enslave ourselves to? Do we worship? Only to you we do that. You with me? So we're establishing the relationship so there's no confusion. You are Rabb, we are Abd, and that's our Tawheed. And it's beautifully established just in the middle of Surah Fatihah. There's no other ibadah because also the ka has been moved to the front. So it's all wiping away of shirk. There's no partners for you because the ka is not na'budu ka, it's Iyaka na'budu. There's all partners are removed. All imaginary perceived partners are removed. Only you, Allah, do we enslave ourselves to. So it's a very powerful moment in the Surah Al-Fatiha. Next thing. Wa. Wa means what? And. Iyaka nasta'een. Nasta'een. Okay, so you haven't done this bab, nasta'een. Nasta'een. But anybody want to guess what the root letters are? I hear some seens, I hear some ains, I hear some noons. Good. Nasta'een. So the word is Nasta'een. Nasta'een. Is Nasta'een ism fi'l or harf? It's a fi'l. Mudari or maldi? Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een. Na'budu is maldi or mudari? Mudari. One of the qualities of mudari, it's ongoing. What's the other name for English for mudari? Past, present tense. What's the other name for present tense? The other English name. It's called the imperfect tense. Imperfect in the sense that it hasn't been completed. So Iyaka na'budu means our ibadah is ongoing, it hasn't reached its completion. You understand? Like I drove to class means what? It's complete, it's perfect. You came, you drove, you finished. I am studying, it's ongoing, I'm still studying, you understand? So the past is called the perfect tense and the present is called the imperfect tense. And Allah use the imperfect tense, why? To put you in the state that your ibadah is incomplete. It's ongoing, it won't come to an end. Iyaka na'budu, it's a continuous moment. Because whenever you say Iyaka na'budu, in that present moment you're always the abd. You with me? You're always the abd. Wa Iyaka nasta'een. So we can go with nasta'een. So nasta'een is on the 10th bab. So bab number X. You'll get there inshallah in how many weeks? That's 2 weeks above, you're bab number 4. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in 12 weeks time inshallah you'll get to almost Ramadan, you'll get to nasta'een. We'll take a story inshallah, but on the 10th bab. The quality of the 10th bab is seeking. Seeking. I'll give you a a simple one for 10th verb. For example, istaghfara. Fara. This here are the root letters. Ghafara. What's ghafara mean? Cover, yes, but more commonly is ghafra, maghfira, forgiveness. It means cover also, yes. A maghfira is a helmet. But istaghfara means what? Seeking forgiveness. So here, this here is the extra letters that are going to be part of the root letters. But in this one, you have some weird things like here because sometimes this is a weak letter, so it's not exactly 100%. So this here is actually the letters are Ain, Waw, Noon. Aun. Those are the root letters. It's Ain, Waw, Noon. Wow, you know, wow. Wow is verkeerd. It's wow. Yeah. Actually, on that note, I was thinking, I'm still in two minds about it, but definitely the first is that sometimes our reading fluency is not up to scratch in terms of fluency and pronunciation and so on. So I was thinking of, and you must give me your feedback, whether I should get a teacher in for 20 minutes to do collective recitation. But you go from the surah, almost from the beginning. So just make sure everybody is sorted out. The tongue is loose, and we're not making woes and coughs and cuffs and to and though. You know what I mean? Because that is become bad habits or lack of practice or so on. So I was thinking of getting a teacher in to basically go through the surah to get you to fluency. Then I was thinking of that same teacher then doing collective recitation, collective hifz. So every week, just 20 minutes, we memorize 2 or 3 lines in class together. Then next week 2 or 3 lines and so on. So what do you guys think? Yes. Okay. So it's done deal. Those of you who are fluent, I can't help it, but now I must speak to the teacher. I don't know. I got a teacher in mind. He does it. I'm on Abdullah Forbes. So I'll speak to him, inshallah, what he suggests with regard to it. So inshallah, we'll probably start, maybe next week I'll see, inshallah. So it's a tight day then, tutorial plus Quran plus Ifri plus, but inshallah we'll make it work, inshallah. But I think it's important because I think you also enjoy the Quran and you feel more comfortable when you feel comfortable to read the Quran. So sometimes, it's not used to reading it, you feel uncomfortable, so you want us to get it basically fluent. Anyway, back here. Ain, Waw, Noon. Ain, Waw, Noon. Okay, so aun means what? Aun means help. Help, assistance, aid, all those things. So you must look it up, inshallah. If you understand a word in Arabic, you must look it up. So we're looking at Ain, Waw, Noon. You can't really know a word in Arabic unless you know the whole family. You can't. Okay. So how do you put it in the third bab? Fa'ala. On the third bab, how do you put this there? On the third bab it will be awana. So it starts here on the, you can see it doesn't have a first bab entry, it has a third bab entry. You can see the first thing it starts with third bab, awana means to help someone, because third bab is mutuality. You're helping someone, to aid someone, to assist someone. How do you put it on the fourth bab? A'wana. Sounds odd, but that's the fourth bab. To free, to liberate. So here we're on the 10th bab, which means what? To ask, to call for someone's help. To call for someone's help. A'wana. And if you add ala to it, it means you're calling for someone's help against someone. Ista'ana ala. But you're doing ala now against someone. The masdar is aun on the first bab is help, aid, assistance. What else is there? Ma'una is also one of them. Help, aid, assistance, relief, and so on. I'ana, mu'awana. For example, the ta'awun. In other words, ta'awanu ala birri wa taqwa. Can say that's also from the word aun. Ta'awanu means come together to help. Come together to, it's on the 6th bab, we can get it inshallah. It means to come to ta'awanu ala birri wa taqwa. Is to mutually assist and aid upon goodness. Sorry, you were saying?
I was thinking, does not also connect with in one particular surah?
I think ma'un is different word. Different word, yeah. Okay. So that's going to be the meaning of it. It means aid, assistance, help. So what is so how do I say nasta'in, we seek your help? The normal way. Like na'buduka means we worship you. Nasta'in, we seek your help. What's the normal way? Nasta'inuka. That's the normal way. Nasta'inu, because where's the fa'il here? The fa'il is the na inside here. You with me? The fa'il is the na inside here. So nasta'inu means we seek, and ka means your help. So here's the verb. The fa'il is inside. The noon can't be the fa'il here. The fa'il is inside, and the maf'ul bi has been taken away from here and been moved to where? To the front. And iyyaka. So we've moved the maf'ul to the front. Okay. Why, last few minutes, why those two things? Like, so that's to ask yourself about the Quran, like why this, why that, to make yourself think. Because Allah could have established the relationship in any way, in multiple words. Okay, but the na'bud is easy one, right? Because it's understood that we are the abd, the ibad of Allah. Okay, so why the nasta'in part? Okay, let me ask a different way. What does nasta'in tell you about Allah? Which quality of Allah does it refer to? Okay, his ability to aid, to insist. It speaks about Allah's intervention into your life. Okay, because now to take you a step back, there are other conceptions of a God. There's other conceptions of a God and other philosophies. One conception of a God is that a God creates the universe, like someone builds a machine and then he says, run, and he steps back. You with me? Do we believe that? But can you understand how there could be a conception of God? You could conceive of Allah as creating Mother Nature and the systems and the ecosystems and the plants and the animals and the human beings, and creating the whole thing and saying, there, I'm done, I'm stepping back and watching the show. You with me? And maybe incorrect, but I think it's called prime mover, one of the philosophies of a deity. Right? So in that it's almost like, can that be a worshipping God? Yes. Can you worship that God? Yes, you can worship that God because He created everything. But can you ask Him for help? No, because He said the system is on its own. You with me? So you can have a different conception of gods, of how you appreciate a deity. So our appreciation of deities, yes, we are the abd, we worship you. But what's the second appreciation? Is that you, Allah, you are constantly involved, directing, supporting, driving our affairs. Therefore, you and you alone are we can turn for help. You with me? It's an acknowledgement that Allah is involved intimately in our lives. And as Muslims, we have we have the furthest reaching understanding of that, where our aqidah will say that not even your heart will beat without the power of Allah. You won't even take one breath without the power of Allah. No leaf will fall except with knowledge of Allah. Can you understand how our conception is? We are the opposite of that prime mover, you create the world and I step back. We are the opposite. We believe Allah created the world and in every moment He maintains every single thing. And what do we believe? That if we are to remove that maintenance, the world will cease to exist. It's as if the world, it rests on Allah's qudra. And if you take the qudra away, it ceases to exist. It doesn't have independent power. Because Allah is Samad, Ahad. You understand? Allah doesn't have independent power. It has power by virtue of the qudra of Allah. You with me? Therefore, a believer will say, Iyaka na'budu. We worship you, you are slaves to you. But we go one step further, we say, we acknowledge everything relies on you, everything it leans on you, upon your help, upon your support, upon your maintenance. Therefore, Iyaka, you and you alone, nasta'een, do we ask for help? You understand? So is it permissible to ask someone else for help? You just said Iyaka nasta'een. What do you mean? No, it's perfectly permissible to ask people to help you, to make dua for you, all of those things, as long as at the back of any belief is that no help will come except with the will of Allah. Allah creates means. You know, I'm to pick up something, I don't say Iyaka nasta'een, we pick up a car. You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. Allah creates means that I'm going to get 10 people and must come, can help me, then we can pick up the car. But that doesn't happen except through the will of Allah and the qudra of Allah. So this doesn't negate normal cause and effect. It just acknowledges that behind everything there's a prime cause. There's a supreme reality that Allah is actually behind everything. You with me? So sometimes the Muslims get like confused with the Aqidah things because they're like, why are you doing this and this and this and this? It's very clear in our Aqidah is that there are cause and effect things which are normal things. Now I don't have time for controversial subjects now. Okay, no. They must open the door, I can't close now. So if you can remind me next week, inshallah, we can speak about, I don't know, mention something controversial from like people asking the dead for help, for example. How do you understand in light of this verse? You understand? Because that's where the tension comes in the Muslim community. Like where is what's happening with that, okay? But we'll leave you for next week, inshallah, to be continued. Okay, that's a good observation as well. It removes this kind of, I don't know, the pride of I sort myself out. I see to myself. And it actually removes all that layers that you're not actually seeing to yourself. Allah is seeing to you. And He's the only one you have strength and wealth and health and all those things. So it's a good observation as well in terms of it makes you humble before Allah. It makes you in need of Allah. And that's also again, what is this? Establishing the relationship. So if you're going to ask, who must you ask? You ask Allah, you ask the one who's going to help you. Does it mean you can't go to the doctor? And ask for help? Does it mean you can't go to the doctor? It means you can go to the doctor because Allah made a cause and effect when it comes to medicine. MashaAllah, we have a doctor here. We're not going to put you out of business. It means that, but you must understand that the healing, these are just asbab, called asbab. They're just like means. The true healer is going to be Allah. So you must always have it clear in your mind between your core belief and the understanding, acceptance of cause and effect. And we believe that Iyaka nasta'een, only you, Allah, can actually really help. If Allah didn't want you to be healed, you can go to 1,000,000 doctors, you won't be healed. You understand? If Allah wants you to be healed, you can go to no doctors, you can be healed. It's as simple as that. Because Iyaka nasta'een, you, Allah, are the only one that actually is able to really help me. Yes. Similar to tawakkul similar. Tawakkul will make Allah in charge of your affairs. But here, Rashi says that we're establishing a relationship. We're not making dua yet. Next verse is dua. So think about this, maybe we can read some tafsir about this, but think about what the consequences of these statements are in terms of a human being, your relationship to Allah, those two words specifically. Na'budu and nasta'een needs to be unpacked and thought about, because those things are actually transformative things. Because once you establish a relationship, you know how to interact with the being. Understand? Because it's established now. This is our nature of our relationship. Now we know how to interact. Okay. We'll continue next week, inshallah. Just some announcements for next week. Next week, there's a nikah here. You aren't invited to the nikah. Most of you, inshallah. So, what's going to happen is we're going to have to move the first years and the Dawra year to Taranga Road. But you, because you're quite insulated here, mashallah, we're going to keep you here for next week, inshallah. So next week your class will continue here as normal, but we're going to move the first year and the Dawra year to Taranga Road, inshallah. Okay. And then also our last announcement is we started something called Mizan Explore, which means we go in the mountains and we go hiking and so on. We had a male event now, inshallah. We also have female events and family events and so on. We're getting there. But we encourage our brothers to join us. If you see some of them limping now, you know why. Because they were with us yesterday. But alhamdulillah, we went up to, from Constantine Neck to the Villiers Dam yesterday morning. And the next one I think is the 3rd of March, first weekend in March, Saturday, after Fajr, inshallah, we're leaving. So we encourage you to join us, get some fresh air, good company, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.